And we are back, baby. Welcome back again to another episode here of the Bears Focus podcast. Colin, back again, joined again by my brother Sterling. How you feeling today?
Don't ask me that, cuz. Don't ask me that. Don't ask me
Yeah, I feel you, dog. It is one of those days. So not so feel good Sunday out here, but we're gonna power through. We're gonna talk a little bit about these Bears, some things that's going on, and have a good time doing it. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We know that Ryan Poles has been talking quite frequently about Kyler Gordon and how important it is to him to really get that extension done. It's a priority for the team. With that being said, who are the other players? Well, we know the other players eligible for extension: Jaquan Brisker, Braxton Jones. Which of those three, if it's only going to be one, would you go with for your contract extension?
But Kyler Gordon just makes sense because he's the staple of the defense. So Kyler Gordon coming in, being on that Bears defensive side of the football, playing the slot position, just locking that up. The Bears may make him play out his fifth year option, player option is up to the Bears and the organization to figure that out. But Kyler Gordon would definitely be getting re-signed. He is an essential piece to the team. Right after that, the second one I'm going with is Braxton Jones. How could you not secure your blind side of the football? Right. You have a chance to sign a guy that's been in
Oh
your
man.
program, been with your organization for years. Now, I know you're against Braxton Jones for whatever reasons that you may have, but here again, Braxton Jones is a solidified piece of the team that has been consistent and has gotten gradually better year after year. Now, I'm surprised this third one I'm going to say is not talked about more. You want to talk about defense. You want to talk about being the first to the ball. You want to talk about being a star or a great role player wherever they've been. We need to talk about TJ Edwards. TJ Edwards needs a new contract and he needs one fast because if he hits the open market, he may not come back to the Bears. Some team out there may throw some big money at him. Again, we signed him at a reasonable price. Again, Ryan Poles dealing masterfully again, but he should be back on the Bears, and he should be back on the Bears fast because that's the best thing we have going for that defense right now.
Now, I do like the TJ Edwards. I do like that you brought that up. Him being the guy that we brought in free agency a couple years ago, not necessarily drafted by the team. I do think that he should get extended. He has been the best linebacker we've had since we let go of Roquan Smith, uh, which, just to go and pay $1 million less, I guess that $1 million was worth it, but whatever. He should have still been on the team, and then maybe still bring in TJ Edwards. Then we got a crazy set of linebackers. But I'm talking about history. So as far as who I look at to be extended, I'm against bringing back Braxton Jones. Cool for a backup, but he's at a key position, on the team. Left tackle is going to demand big money. That market value right now, I don't think that the Bears want to pay that to Braxton Jones. I wouldn't pay that to Braxton Jones, obviously. So I'm looking at Kyler Gordon. Kyler Gordon should be the guy that they re-sign 100%. They should extend his contract. They should go ahead and get that started immediately. That way we try to get in a little bit of cap savings later on down the line. We know what's coming up. We know a big money contract is coming for Caleb Williams. Get all of our guys we can get signed and need to get signed now, signed, so that when the time comes to give him that contract, we can go ahead and do it, not have any problems, still have a team around him for a few years before things get even more expensive, right? So that's the way that I think we should go. There's a couple different early extension candidates out there also that are possibilities to help with some of the cap space moving forward, which could be a Caleb Williams, right? You get him done a little bit earlier, maybe get in a little lower number. He's probably not going to do that. I wouldn't do that if I'm a quarterback and I feel confident about where I'm going and the team is going. Could be Montez Sweat, right? Again, maybe some cap savings. I see you shaking your head. I'll let you explain that in a second. And then it also could be DJ Moore. I know we just extended him last season, right? Or last off season, but he could also again get another extension, add some more years just to again stretch those cap savings for the future. So I saw you shaking your head on the Sweat. no extendo there. What's your thoughts, man?
I feel like one, you've been disrespectful towards Braxton Jones once again, and disrespect
No
can I
disrespect is meant.
ask that?
No disrespect is meant.
Are you disrespecting Braxton Jones because in the 2024 season he kind of bounced back or tried to bounce back from a horrific ankle injury that he had, came back. He's been the most stable thing we had on the Bears line since Rex Grossman and Kyle Orton being the quarterback, going back and forth between each other. Okay, he's been the most consistent player that's been there. He deserves a new contract, especially if he performs well this season. Again, any player that you sign on that left side of the football is going to be tough for a quarterback. That's the quarterback's blind side. That's the money side of football. That is one of the most lethal side in football. So if you're talking about paying players now so you can pay Caleb later on, yeah, that makes sense. But also, you want to make sure Caleb is there and protected when he does actually get that big contract and it doesn't become bounty gate on the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Again, Braxton Jones deserves to be there. Brian Poles actually came out and said that there's already competition in that spot with somebody on the roster.
Don't
Now,
tell me I'm a Gaji. Come on, don't say
yes,
that.
yes, yes, yes. I can only tell you what Ryan Post said. He said it's competition already there.
All
He
right,
said he'd like to see those two compete. He said he likes the way the team is filling out. And here's another key indicator. If Ben Johnson doesn't have a problem with it, we shouldn't either,
that's all
Bears
that.
fan. All right, we shouldn't either. If Ben Johnson is solid in what he has there, we saw the offense that Ben Johnson had, number one in the NFL last season. Now he comes over to the Bears. Hopefully, we're in that top 10, number one spot again, replicating something different than what Ben Johnson did up in Detroit, putting our own Bears flavor on it. But once again, Braxton Jones should be a part of this team, not only now, but going forward. And TJ Edwards definitely should be getting a brand new contract. I know he's getting older as he's about to be 29, maybe at the conclusion of the season. Can you pay a linebacker into his 30s? Motto of consistency, constantly over 100 tackles, and he's adaptable in any defense that you play. Therefore, he should be on the Bears long term, and he should be an essential piece going forward. You want to get those two signed up. And of course, Kyler Gordon, he looks like a future long-time starter for the Bears if it doesn't work out down the road with some of our other cornerbacks. So Bears are in a good spot.
So average right now for left tackle as far as contract per year. The highest being Trent Williams at 27.5. Next, Christian Darrisaw at 26. So about 22, I would say, is probably starting point. 20 if you're a left tackle, right? If you're a decent left tackle in the league. Would you commit 20 million per year over the next 3 to 4 to 5 years to Braxton Jones when we could go right now, get us a young left tackle in this draft that we know will be a starter? Obviously, hopefully, barring injuries and things like that, we know will at least be a starter for us and be comparable to the talent Braxton Jones has and be on a lower contract. It just doesn't make sense to me to resign him. He hasn't been a top tackle in the league. If he has, there would be no questions or debate about drafting a new tackle. So I think he needs to be replaced. At the
I
very least, bring in a rookie this season. I say first round. Do not go late round because that's not real competition. Bring in that first round top tackle, one of the top three tackles that we can get. Give him some real comp. All right. Now let's see what he can do. Now let's see how much juice he got.
No, we can pay Braxton Jones in between that 15 up to $20 million range. I think that's his soft spot. 15 being the base level, starting off there. Anything below there is kind of disrespect. So yeah, I think we can get Braxton Jones for maybe 16 to $17 million a year. Again, if he has a phenomenal season this season, that price will definitely go up to that 20 million per year. But right now, I have him capped at about, and this means nothing to Braxton Jones and maybe even the Bears, but I see him at about $17 million a year protecting that left side for Caleb Williams going forward, getting a discount, and then again continuing on his development at that left tackle position where he becomes a future all-star in that position going forward. So you never know.
You're right. You never know. And that's the beauty of it, right? All of this is speculation until players get out on the field and they start showing you what's really what. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing Kyler Gordon get that extension. I'm sure I think we both are very positive. Everybody's positive he's going to get extended. So definitely looking forward to that. Now, sticking along those lines of Bears and drafts and players that have been brought in by GMs, Ryan Poles is now on, what is this, draft number three? Draft number three. I think he's doing pretty good so far. What would you say?
I would say Ryan Poles has done a phenomenal job when it comes to these Bears drafts. All right, if you
Yeah,
look at Ryan Poles draft from 2022 all the way up to 2024, he's made some spectacular picks. I mean, you talk about Darnell Wright in 2023, solidifying that Bears right side of the line going forward. And then you talk about 2024, right? Going first overall, again, stealing from the Carolina Panthers and getting this guy named Caleb Williams, the quarterback of the future. Also, within that
yeah.
same draft, he pulls off phenomenal again, 2-for-1, and he also gets Rome Odunze, right, from Washington State. So again, Ryan Poles has been doing this for a long time. I'm not surprised at anything he does in the draft. All of his draft picks have been great and have worked out for this team so far. Now, if you want to talk about some of these other GMs prior to Ryan Poles, now that may be a different story, and that may be the one that just makes me want to end this live, in this pod
You
right
know,
now.
and that's where we about to go
Right
with it.
now.
And that's exactly where we're going with it. You know the deal. We going into now. What was the worst pick? Let's go first round pick, right? Let's stick in the first round. From I guess we can't really say the last two GMs, right, with the Pace and Pulse, but let's throw them in there. Between Pace and Pulse, right, the last two GMs and their first round picks. What was the worst for you? What was the worst first round pick
Do
team?
you remember what you were doing in 2015? Do you remember what you were doing?
2015.
What were you
What
doing?
was I doing in 2015? 2015. I just moved in with a girlfriend. We moved out of town.
Okay. Okay.
It was pretty smooth. Wasn't paying too much attention to much around. I was kind of stuck in life, but that's another story for another day.
All right. All
But
right.
in
But
2015,
do you know what
in
the Bears did?
2015,
Do you know what the Bears
I
did
do
in
know
20?
what they did, and I was very upset about it. I
What?
think all fans were upset about that, and I'm sure a lot of fans have kind of purged that 2015 draft from their memories. Sometimes you
I
can't.
have nightmares. I still have nightmares. The Bears with the round one, pick 7, draft Kevin White. Now you may be thinking, Bears fan, who is Kevin White? Yeah, I know. He was a phenomenal wide receiver in college. Physical, big body, fast. Body
Who's
broke
fast?
down every single season when he got drafted to the Bears. He had no chance of being a
Yeah.
long time player for the Bears. Even when he was healthy, guess what? He couldn't do. Bears fan couldn't catch the ball. I don't know what that was about. He particularly struggled in his time in Chicago. Again, this is no shade to Kevin White. It just didn't work out. He had other opportunities once being released by the Bears. Didn't pan out in any of those opportunities as well. Again, you have to give the young man some what's the word? Some respect for continuing to go after his NFL
Yeah.
career. Some people say the
He tried.
NFL stands for not for long. And for Kevin White being the number one first round pick, it seems like that his tenure in the NFL ended in about 2022 after he didn't successfully make a team again during another injury. So Kevin White would be the one. The draft's a dagger through the Bears side because what was that pick? And then what could we have drafted with that first round pick if it wasn't Kevin White? Because there were other players on the board that we definitely could have got that could have still been on this team today, building it out with leadership. But again,
So when I looked at just in that draft, I didn't go too far, right? Because as I started to look more and more through the rounds, I was like, man, this just gets worse and worse. But that same year, number 10, St. Louis picked Todd Gurley. Now we know Todd Gurley, his knees broke down and he got injured, later on. But his first, 3, 5 years, he was a dog, right? So at least 3, 5 years of Todd Gurley we could have had over, none with Kevin White. And then round 5, pick 146, we went receiver, and in the fifth round, a guy came out that's been an all pro that's made big play after big play and has been stable until he just recently got hurt. So they could have done a lot there with that pick. But for me, the most inexcusable of them all, and you know exactly where I'm going, that 2017 draft where we traded up to the number 2 pick to take Mitchell Trubisky. And no disrespect to Mitch, I think that he had a good season with the Bears, but bro, we could have had Pat Mahomes. Like we could have had Pat Mahomes who got picked at number 10. Bro, we could have had, we know all the massage issues, but we could have had Deshaun Watson. All right. We could have had the masseuse maniac in our locker room. Now, I don't think anybody really wants that,
Well,
but we could have had that for a couple seasons, and a couple seasons he would have been good. And also, TJ Watt was drafted number 30. Number 30. That is insane. The incompetence around the organization in that draft, to be honest, they probably should have gotten fired. Immediately after we saw what Pat Mahomes was and what Deshaun Watson was, they immediately probably should have gotten fired, right?
yeah.
But next pick, 2018, he came back and he got Roquan Smith, which was a phenomenal pick. And honestly, looking at that, I didn't see anybody that I would have picked over Roquan from where they picked him at.
Came back and stabilized the ship after it was burning.
Yeah.
Another name you failed to mention. I know Patrick Mahomes was in there. We could have got anybody from Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, like you said. Have you heard of a guy named Hassan Reddick? He just got paid this offseason.
Saw Hassan Reddick.
Have you heard of a guy named Marshawn Lattimore? He's having a pretty good NFL career. I'm pretty sure you heard
At
of
the
this name.
2017 times, how I looked at it was, what was the team like then, right? And what do we have on the team? Our defense was pretty decent, right? We still had Kyle Fuller, who was going into his All-Pro seasons 2017. He was one of the top corners in the league.
I got you.
So corner wasn't really a need or something that they were looking for at that time.
But
So
we're talking game changers, and this is definitely a position of need because again, this player was starting to transition. He was getting older.
You're
He
right.
wasn't breaking down.
That 2018 season started going down.
Yeah, we could have got Carolina Panthers. Have you heard of this guy named Christian McCaffrey, running back from Sanford? Missed out on him as well too. He was drafted
Yeah,
8th
true.
in the draft as well. And then Myles Garrett, of course, went number 1 to the Browns, and the Bears ended up getting Mitch Trubisky from North Carolina. Now, not to again, Mitch Trubisky wouldn't have been the pick that I went with, but I think he does maybe hold the record for the Bears on touchdown completions or in a game with 6. I mean, he did some great things. He got us to the playoffs. I mean, again, was it Trubisky's fault? Because didn't he have a pretty good season with that guy Matt Nagy?
I gave it to him. I say he
Coach
had a good season with us.
Coach of the year. I mean, Bears, we were up. Bears fans, we were up. We were ready, right? There ain't no setbacks again with field goal kicking. We were ready to rock and roll when it came to that season, but it just didn't pan out for us again. I'm pretty sure looking at this, we definitely would have done a lot differently here. There were a lot of good players in this draft. Again, the Bears just did not get one of those sustainable players going forward. And I think that's where this Ryan Poles tenure and leadership has significantly changed. And not only is he bringing in long-term pieces, he is bringing in pieces now that fit the culture and where these players can make an impact. And again, this is an environment for learning football and getting prepared to go the long haul in a season, hopefully to a Super Bowl. This is all the things the Bears are turned into it right now.
I agree. I like that. And one more nugget I want to throw out there from that Ryan Pace era in Chicago, man. 2016. We picked Leonard Floyd, who did not pan out for the Bears, but he went on to have great seasons with the Rams and be a stud. We could have gotten Chris Jones, who the Chiefs got in the second round that season. Dak Prescott, 4th-round pick. Laramie Tunsil's number 13. It just really, when you really look back at it, that last regime with Ryan Pace and he was terrible. He was kind of bad. Like there were some good ones in there. I will say with really the only one was Roquan.
What is it with these New Orleans, right? What is it with Bears in New Orleans, right? Are they putting voodoo on us? And no disrespect to the people in New Orleans or the people of Louisiana. We show love and respect to everybody, but what's going on? We had 2 just horrific things happen, right? We got this guy named Ryan Pace from y'all. He sucked. Right? And y'all told us he was the best. He sucked. All right. And then the guy who caught the touchdown in the end zone, tight end, remember this, broke his freaking leg and they called the touchdown off. He caught the ball, broke his leg, out for the rest of his NFL career, and they couldn't even give the man a touchdown as he broke his leg catching the ball off a spectacular catch.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, you want to talk about bad things that just happened in New Orleans. Bears fans, I just gave you two examples right there. I don't know if we're going to be doing too many great things in New Orleans going forward. Happy the Super Bowl has already been there because fans, I'm going to be the first to tell you, if we were playing in New Orleans, wasn't looking good for us. Wasn't looking good for us. We don't have the juice on our side in that stadium
Yeah, sad
unless
to say.
everything has shifted. Yeah, 100%.
Man, well, that got a little that got me a little down, to be honest, thinking back and a little hot at the same time. Thinking about these bad picks that were made and just how terrible that they were doing the research on that. I was like, man, this is really a shame that we stuck so long with Ryan Pace and he did so terrible for us.
Terrible.
But hey, we got a new structure to the team now with Kevin Warren in there. Ryan Poles is doing his thing. So man, big shout out to him. Moving on here now. What's today? Sunday, April 6th. Officially have 18 days left until the draft. Caleb Williams, rookie year, wasn't the best. He didn't win rookie of the year. You know, he had a pretty pedestrian year compared to what most Bears fans thought that he would do coming into year one. Now going into year two, what are expectations for number 18?
Easy. Improved decision maker. Right off the back, you talk about those O-line pieces that he got to his O-line, completely revamped it. So his decision making and his time to get the ball out of his hands should be significantly better this season. So that's the number one thing we should see major improvement on. Now, with that improved decision making, it's going to allow him to do the second thing, right? The deep ball connection is back. He can throw that
Ayo.
ball down the field. We have Roma Duce, who can stretch the field, who's physical, 6'4", can go up and high point the ball and get it. Then you have DJ Moore, who is just a physical specimen, who can get loose, who can get shifty, but can also play physical with you and go up and get a ball. That is going to prove dividends when the Bears need to stretch the field and stretch these teams sideline to sideline. And don't forget about or sleep on our tight ends. All right. We got Cole Kmet. We signed some guys in the offseason that are going to come in and stretch this. Yeah, you're laughing. They're going to come in and help
Because I just
stretch
don't believe it, but
and
okay.
help come in and help stretch this field out as well too, and help in the run game as well too with great run blocking. Again, improved decision making, deep ball connection, and then from there you just got to go leadership growth for Caleb Williams. Okay, again, he's been in some traumatic situations already. He's had to learn 3 playbooks in what 2 seasons. I know I'm over
Yeah, crazy.
exaggerating there, but that's a lot on a rookie
Kind of
and your
not.
first time a quarterback. He's already seen the worst of the worst. It's only up from here, right? So again, I'm expecting a different leader. I'm expecting somebody that's coming in. He did mention that Kobe Bryant was his favorite athlete or one of his favorite athletes of all time. If you're following the Kobe Bryant mentality, that Mamba mentality, oh, I know what you're about. You're working when others are not. You are extremely detailed. You have prepared for every situation in the game and have done it 1,000 times before so that when you get in the game, it looks new to people, but you spend so much time with loved ones and just in yourself training to muscle memory, so that it's nothing in the game. A lot of athletes respect this guy named Kobe Bryant because he was one of the all-time greats and he struck fear not because he was physically imposing, but it was because of his domineering spirit and aura. When he came on the court, you knew if you were not prepared, he was going to give you 60, 81, 50, 40, 30. I expect Caleb Williams to go through a week in the NFL where he averages 25 passing yards
Just a week?
for just a week.
Just a week or a month? Just a week or a month? Because a week is one game.
A week could be 2 games. All right,
Could be two games,
depending on the
Thursday,
Bears schedule.
Sunday, something like that, Thursday, Monday. You know.
Are you not expecting the Bears to be in prime time?
Oh, they definitely should be in prime
They're
time.
going to try to do what's dirty. They're going to give us a Thursday night game, tough as nails,
It's,
and they're
we
going to give
dominated those Thursday night games last
yeah, that
season,
was
though.
last season. This is this season again. Continue on that mentality. They're going to give us like a Thursday night game, Bears and Packers. Okay, a divisional game, super. Like, why would you put that game in the middle? Put it there, all eyes on the Bears. Then we come back and we're going to play somebody. I'm not being disrespectful, but we're going to play somebody like the Carolina Panthers, right? All right, trying to get us in a trap game. Again, Caleb Williams, this is his time to infuse that leadership on the team. We're winning both of these games. And you know what? I'm throwing for 405, 425 both games, 2 tutties, 2 on the ground, 2 in the air. Bears are just dominating teams physically and mentally, wearing them out because they don't know what's coming. And of course, I expect no change from the Bears defense, continue being dominant, just upping it up a little bit, bringing back that monsters of the midway back on that side of the ball with a bunch of offensive help coming from Caleb Williams in the offense this upcoming season. So,
I
yeah,
like that. I definitely like how you close it out too, because more offensive help, I think, will definitely help our defense. Our defense
pressure.
will,
It's all pressure. Pressure
man.
sometimes breaks pipes, but pressure in this situation, this season, is going to produce a lot of diamonds because it's three ways to make diamonds. If you know, it has to go through pressure, you need time, and then eventually you have to cut it, right? You can't make diamonds without cutting it. The Bears are getting cut right now through this upcoming training camp, and we're going to produce some diamonds, some gems this upcoming season that Bears fans across the world could be proud of.
Let's go, man. I like that. Diamonds are forever, baby. So 18 days left to go. What I am expecting from Caleb Williams, I'm expecting him honestly, and this might be a lot, but hey, we putting pressure, right? I'm expecting a huge season. Okay. I'm expecting the Bears to finally get their first 4,000-yard passer. Okay. I am expecting 30 plus touchdowns, and I'm going to stick with numbers on expectations here. I'm expecting 10 plus interceptions because I think he's going to be passing the ball more, taking a bit more chances. And I am expecting for our team to overall improve around him, give him that confidence to go out there and be him. We're going to be able to see him make those plays he made in college because he's going to now have the confidence in that O line that they will protect him. He's going to have the confidence that he can move around in space and have plays that are designed for him to be in space and get an open pass off to a receiver downfield, and we get that touchdown. So I think that we will be seeing Superman come through in some of these Bears games. All right. And I fully expect for Caleb Williams to have an excellent year two, probably the best year two of any quarterback ever.
All right, you want to go on record? I'm gonna hold you to the records. You said 4,000,
Hey, we got it recorded, dog. Let's keep it
4,000,
official.
4,030
4,000
touchdowns.
yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 plus interceptions,
All
maybe,
right,
maybe not.
just go all
Less
the
is
way.
obviously better.
Our Bears making the playoffs this season. I mean,
I
with
don't know
those
about
type.
going all the way with that yet. Let's wait till
Well,
after the
wait a
draft.
minute. Wait a
Let's
minute
let's wait till
now.
after the
Wait
draft
a
now.
minute now. You just gave me 4,030 yard
That's cool.
passer.
You could put
If
up them
if
numbers.
if,
You
if
could put
if
up.
I close my eyes, I see the Love Hurts commercial. Okay, all right, come on now. We're talking about Jalen Hurts. He just won the Super Bowl, and then
Yeah.
he comes out with the master marketing with Love Hurt. I mean, come on. 4,030. I think Caleb Williams does get the 4,000 mark. I mean, I think that's on his to-do list. He
Mm-hmm.
almost did it last season.
Almost. He was almost done.
We had just some things that didn't go right. If Keenan Allen was just healthy for 3 more games, I think he totally would have got it
I agree.
again. But I see the Bears, Caleb Williams, 4,000 yards for sure. I'm going to say he's going to be in that 20 touchdown range. It's going to be over 20 touchdowns, but I don't think he gets to 30. I think he has 20 touchdowns or more. I think he throws 12 or less interceptions as well. I think he stays single digit interceptions all season. So he might 7, 8. But I don't see him going double digits. I also see him getting sacked less this season as well too. But I also think his time to throw right is going to be significantly less as well too. So he's going to be getting that ball out of his hand in 3 seconds or less. But I do see him throwing that ball down the field as well. Again, improving on that deep ball connection, stretching the field so that middle of the field can be open now with routes that actually make sense
Mm-hmm.
for players to run, thus giving our tight ends an opportunity to catch. And then we got this thing called running back in the backfield. I can come out either on a wheel route, come across the middle, again, stretching these linebackers in this defense. If you got all of that moving, you got to think, did we forget about the quarterback as the defense? And if you did, Superman is going to use those legs and take off 40, 30-yard games. I think we see a lot of that upcoming on the next season for the Bears that we saw previous seasons. But it's going to look different because now we have more weapons on the field surrounded by Caleb Williams, which again, it's opened up these running lanes for the quarterback or these passing lanes for the quarterback and wide receivers that just make a perfect sense and harmony.
100%. And I love that you said routes that make sense for our receivers to run. What the hell was that route tree with Shane Waldron? What the hell was happening? We got guys stacked on top of each other in the same area of the field. Whatever. I'm not going to go too far into it. But
I mean, you let me know. Wasn't this the same guy that was like he was spending extra time with the Bears players, teaching them the playbook, letting them know where they need to be, letting them know their spots, just teaching this offense to them in a simplified manner where they could digest it and study it on their own time. This was the Shane Warden that Bears fans got, right?
It can't be when our rookie quarterback was saying that he had to study film on his own.
Oh,
So,
okay. Oh, my
hey,
fault.
maybe that Shane Waldron got left in Seattle.
Maybe I don't.
Maybe he just never came to Chicago. You know, we
Doppelgangers
got,
do exist.
yeah, they are here. So maybe we just got the doppelganger,
Hey,
Waldron.
I do
But
believe in aliens.
lizard man and stuff, man. But with that being said, man, Caleb Williams, bro, we expecting big things from you in this upcoming season. We're gonna hold off on playoff predictions for the moment. You pushing for it. Let's wait until at least after the draft when camp gets to going. Then we'll start throwing some predictions out there, even after the schedule. Let's really hold it for that. But man, finishing up here, man, let's try and end it on a good note, right? With a blast from the past. All right. In all of Bears history, or at least your known Bears history,
That's a lot of
what
big history.
what memory stands out the most to you? What's the moment you will never forget? It can be good or bad.
Well, there's two that really stick out. There's just two. One
All right,
hurts, one is jubilation.
all right.
All right, let's start with the pain first. So you mentioned this earlier. Bears versus Eagles 2019.
Mhm.
2019. Bears drive down the field, get in field goal position. Cody Parkey comes onto the field, has a chance to win the game for the Chicago Bears. But instead, we get doink, doink, miss, game over Eagles. Go on, and move, advance in the playoffs.
Didn't they win the Super Bowl? They
Yes,
beat the
they did.
Patriots. Nick Foles. Oh my
Yes,
God,
they
bro.
wanted to leave that part out, but here you go, bringing it
And the
up.
Bears, I feel like really had a good enough team. Oh my
And
God.
that was again at our home field.
It was at home.
And that happened. I mean, soul crushing. You talk
It was
about
devastating.
deflated. You talk about fans who were like in pure jubilation around the city. And then you talk about just silence where you could hear a pin drop no matter where you if the Bears game was on, it went silent because we had the game won and then that happens. I think people broke TVs. I
It
think
was the
people called off
loudest.
work the next day. I think people will never ever forget that. And that's the one of the reasons why Cody Parkey is not welcome. I'm not gonna say not welcome, but Cody Parkey is no longer the Bears kicker because he could never live that down or change that. Now, for the jubilation side of it, Devin
All
Hester. I mean, it doesn't get any better. He just went into the Hall of Fame. Anytime you had the privilege and honor of watching Devin Hester on your TV screen or in person, it was electrifying. Right. He even raised this game even more so in what the Super Bowl, the one time we had the chance to go. Shout out Prince. Purple rain, purple rain.
right.
Okay, but anywho, we're talking about Devin Hester running back that opening kickoff. You want to talk about storybook. You want to talk about just memory. You want to talk about a good start to a game. Gets no better than that. The first play, all the lights are flashing. It's the Super Bowl. You're going against Peyton Manning. And we go and do that again, putting ourselves in another good position to win this game. Just didn't pan out that way. I won't bring up old things, Bears fans, but it just didn't pan out that way. But again, we go there again. Oh, it's panning out. It's panning out. Okay, and I ain't talking a thin crust pizza. I'm talking deep dish, thick. It's panning out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
These are the things that Bears fans are going to have a chance to look forward to. These are the things that hopefully we get corrected going forward. But those are my two memories. One bad, one good.
okay. I like that, man. It, again, brought me a little bit more sadness with that double doink. I'm gonna have to go hit the gym and give myself a nice cheer up after this. But yeah, Devin Hester, you started that was your good moment, man. And shout out to Devin Hester, bro, man. That's probably as a Bears fan growing up at 06, 07, 08 year when they was in the Super Bowl. We was teenagers. I don't even know if we were really teenagers yet. But seeing them in the Super Bowl, Devin Hester returning that kick for a touchdown, bro, that was the most exciting moment ever. Like it was just a crazy happy moment. You felt on top of the world. You felt like the Bears were really about to win this thing, and then it all came crumbling down.
You let me
But
you let me know a kick returner, a player that has been more electrifying in the NFL since Devin Hester. I think Travis Hunter has a chance to be just
Since Devin Hester,
you're talking just pure electrifying. Like when he touches the ball, oh my gosh, you have no idea. I mean, maybe you need to go back and you need to watch some highlight reels of him running back.
it's been nobody.
Even at wide receiver, he transitioned into a wide receiver later in his career. They say he couldn't do it. He did it.
He was still killing dudes on them post
And
routes.
he was burning individuals. All right. I mean, on go balls, on slants. And he kind of developed his route tree later in his career because the Bears kind of forced him into that position. But just talking special teams, phenomenal. No more. There was not a better electrifying player in the NFL at that time with all of the current NFL players. To this day, I think there's a player in this draft that has Devin Hester abilities, maybe even supercharged. That guy's name is Travis Hunter. I mean, again, if he's not on your draft big board, he should be a guy that can play both sides of the football. You can put him at wide receiver, cornerback. You know he can play special teams. He is fast. He is shifty. He is elite. He knows what he's doing out there on the football field. They say it can never be done. He's going to break down. He's brittle. These are grown men. What he did in college doesn't count. Well, let's see. Whoever gets an opportunity to get him, let's see.
People forget that Devin Hester did come out of Florida as a cornerback. He came out as a cornerback. People forget that. So
Yeah.
I think the comparison with Travis Hunter is pretty good. Travis Hunter's definitely not playing any special teams. I would be shocked to see him back there returning punts or returning kicks, bro. To already be planning on him playing cornerback and receiver, and then put him in there and on punt returns and kick. I just think that's too much. I don't know. I'm not saying he can't do it, but that just seems like a lot, and you're
We're
opening up to more of a risk of injury.
we're going to see some amazing things this upcoming NFL season. It might be one of the most entertaining NFL seasons
I
ever
agree.
recorded
I agree.
in the history of the game. I mean, crushing numbers, all right? Because again, there's too much talent that's now on this level. You got Shador coming to the NFL. You got Hunter coming to the NFL. You got all of this talent that's already there, establishing themselves in the NFL. The league is in a good spot. Every team is highly competitive right now. There's been a balance. Even some of those teams that were competitive last season has gotten substantially better. Carolina Panthers, New England Patriots, Chargers, although they were competitive, they just still got better. And then keeping all things Bears, the Bears have gotten better. So again, you talk about tough football. Again, if they allow these players to play, lay some big hits, I mean, the NBA is never going to catch up to the NFL. And I hate to say that. That's a topic for a different day. But if they can just get these rules right and keep it entertaining where players can still hit, but also protect themselves, especially with the lower legs and the high up to the helmet hits, the game is in a good spot. Although it's not as violent as it was back then, right? Have you ever heard of a guy named Brian Dawkins? Okay.
Ooh,
Sean Taylor. Okay.
ooh.
Mike
R.I.P.
Brown. Mike Brown, Bears
Man,
fans.
Mike
He was
Brown,
he was another head cracker.
a dog.
I mean, goodness gracious, you talk about these players and you just think about some of the vicious hits that they put on people. Again, hopefully the NFL allows some of that viciousness to still permeate throughout the NFL, but just translates it in a different way.
I don't know if that's happening with teams trying to ban a push tush, but again, that's something we'll talk
Hey,
about
it's dangerous. It's
another
dangerous.
day,
Have you ever been
But
on the bottom of a pile?
on the bottom of a pile, when we used to play Killer Man in school, yeah.
All right, all right, brother. I was just saying, I'm just asking a question here.
I mean, it ain't the best thing, but you ain't gonna die. Now with 300 pound,
Do you know what?
with 2,300 pound dudes on you,
It's not
that's something
it's not
different.
about it's not about dying. There's some things that go on at the bottom of the pile that you'll be
And
disgusted at.
that's something different right there.
Getting
That's
punched,
some wild stuff that's
getting
going on.
punched. Some people get spit
Doing
on.
some weird
Some people,
grabbing and poking, and
yeah, they doing all
that's
of that
some
at the
weird
bottom of
fishy
the
stuff
pile.
that's happening
And
down there.
if you're the
Need to
man at the
pause on
bottom,
all that.
if you're the man at the bottom or the woman, you're pissed.
And I don't think any women play football.
Yeah,
Well, in the NFL, at least, dog.
that's none of my business. That's none of my
Not in the
business.
NFL, dog.
That's
That's a
that's none of
well,
my
like
business.
we protect women because that'd be crazy in the NFL. It's already wild seeing women fight UFC. In the NFL would be insane.
Shout out
But
to all my women out there. I stand with you.
man, that's real. But finishing up this blast from the past, man, and my worst Bears moment. I see that we both stick with we both went with times that they lost to eventual Super Bowl winners, which was pretty odd. But my worst memory was The NFC Championship game, 2011. Jay Cutler on the sideline, riding a bike. Packers driving for a win. Bears just need to get downfield, score, get us back in the game, get to the Super Bowl. Cutler can't get back in. That
Man,
was a
if Cutler didn't get injured,
sad
Bears
moment.
go to the Super Bowl.
Bears win that Super Bowl.
His knee was,
Bears win the Super Bowl, bro.
I don't know, what did he tear? ACL, something?
His knee was fucked.
He tore something in that knee, and he was pedaling on that bike. I think he went back in the game, but he just couldn't
He
move.
tried, yeah, he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it, and we know Jay Cutler is fearless. You talking? Hey, Jay Cutler
One
can.
of the toughest. One
I
of the
mean,
toughest out
you
there.
want to talk about gunslinger? Man, he put that ball. He allowed you to go get that football as a
Bro,
wide receiver. That's all you can ask for.
Jay
Give me a
Cutler
chance
was
to go get that football.
he was honestly one of the most underrated Bears quarterbacks.
All
Like
time, all time.
most underrated. He did a lot of great things for Chicago. And then when Brandon Marshall came in, we had Alshon Jeffrey, Martellus Bennett. Bro, we
Hey,
had some squads with Jay Cutler and them,
shout out
man.
Brandon Marshall. I seen
Real
that
talk.
man 4 or 5 times around the city. Every time I seen him, great interactions. Had a chance to meet him and his wife. One
That's what's
time
up.
at dinner, one time, just doing random stuff. And great guy, physically imposing. I mean, again, he played for the Bears. He had that one game, I think, of the Bears when he played the San Francisco 49ers, caught 3 or 4 touchdown, amazing tutties. He was one of a great Bears wide receiver. Just didn't work out with him in his career. We thought he was the missing piece to get us to the playoffs. We failed just short with Brandon Marshall on the team a couple of
Well, he got us
times.
to the playoffs.
No,
So I
Brandon
mean, well, he
Marshall
didn't necessarily.
Marshall has
We
never
made it to the
played in
play.
the
Oh, he
playoffs.
wasn't in the playoffs with us? Damn, okay.
Yeah,
Never mind.
never to the playoffs. That's a
Yeah,
stain on this
oh
record.
yeah. When he came to the team, we didn't get back.
Yeah,
We thought
it was like
him and
9
Jay
and
would
9
be
and 8.
there, yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't get
just
back
didn't
there.
pan out.
But yeah, that was my worst Bears memory. But both times, both memories, they lost to eventual Super Bowl winners. Very, very sad. Did the Bears miss out on 2 Super Bowls due to a missed kick and an injury? I'm not saying that, but if you say that, that's okay. Yeah. So let us know down in the comments, guys, what you think. What's your best memory? What's your worst Bears memory from the team? Would love to hear it. Really appreciate it. Also, again, April 24th, draft night. We will be doing a live stream, Bears Focus live stream on draft night. Come tune in, come enjoy the conversation, see who the Bears select. All right. Are they going to go Ashton Genty? I hope not. Are they going to go Will Campbell? We don't know. Be there to find out. Be there to get all the reactions from the squad and a couple special guests that we'll have in as well.
Of course, as you know, bear down and all things Bears Focus podcast.
Bears Focus, baby. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.